right. So, Jessica says she's on her way. So you won't be seeing our pretty faces this time, I guess. Um, that way we can, you know, all see what is being typed on the document. And so, if people want, some sort of like text, you know, for what our debrief is, yeah, we'll put that there and links and stuff if there's things to follow up on. So I guess we can just start with initial impressions. I will go first since I'm already speaking, and that way we don't have to do the mic scramble. Um, I mean, if you just look at netlabelday.org and the list of releases, I mean there's a number of releases, so I'm sure that Omar would like there to be more, but I don't know that is, a place where we need to spend a lot of energy. I guess that's a discussion point we can talk about later, but yeah, so that to me seems like it's, okay. I think that the stream, I don't know. Um, Again, a topic for conversation later after we give our initial impressions, but like, maybe we could expand the stream to not just be Netlabel Day, and that might give people more opportunities to sign up. If we do like opening panels like we did this year, then maybe like the stream happens the second weekend or something like that. That's Omar's call, so we can only do but so much. But we can talk about that, and then Omar can listen. The panels, yeah, the the technology situation and just my like life situation the last 3 weeks or so um, it's been like exceedingly chaotic. I'm not sure there's a whole lot to take from that. I mean, I think all things considered, I think that went pretty well. I mean, eventually I'll have time to chop up those videos. I hope. I think that would definitely be useful for folks to have a little more, so they could go into the piece that they wanna see. So with that, I will pass things to, and I guess I don't know. Maybe if there's not stuff to type, maybe it makes sense to do video. I just thought about that. With this, yeah, I'll I'll just go back to video here um, until we get done with our opening statements. Welcome, Jessica. We're just doing opening statements, and I did have the Etherpad pulled up, but I'm gonna do that after we get done with this. So, Jason, um, any starting thoughts?
Just in regards to Netlabel Day, as far as the website and the releases, we're just a week in, so that's something that's always a bit of a long tail
Yeah,
sort of a thing. The more that we share, the more that will come to light as far as who's accessing what releases really seem to be hitting with people. As far as the stream was concerned, I didn't get to hear as many folks live as I would have liked to. There are some things on the pre-recorded ends that were being distributed through various means prior to Netlabel Day and are available after. So usually, just like last year, I spend quite a bit of time making sure that I make the rounds to get to hear and see as much as I can from those who have participated. Last Monday, I recorded my 2 hours, and over the last 2 days, I went back and reviewed that and was really happy with what I was able to represent for. And I'm still quite pleased with the panels on Saturday. As a matter of fact, I listened to the last episode from the Bugcast, and it definitely seemed as if the curator panel struck a chord with Dave, because he did talk about it on the episode, and he remembers that the previous year they had gotten an invite, and through various means and for various reasons, weren't able to contribute, weren't able to attend. But after the panel was over, one of the things that he said in terms of his thoughts on the last episode was he was wondering why he hadn't been involved before. So I think just that alone, I was curious to hear what he had to say, and just that alone, I think, is a bit of a win. If it strikes a chord with Dave, it's going to strike a chord with others, be they podcasters, um, be they programmers, be they music lovers who are trying to understand a bit more about Creative Commons licenses and how they work. I think that there's a lot within the panels between curator, artists, and the tech segment that I think will be extremely important to share over these next few weeks and months. And one of those aspects that hopefully helps us be able to keep conversation going and making sure that the fervor sounding Netlabel Day doesn't just, die off slowly, you know, right after the day is done and right after the marathon itself is done. That's all I got.
Excellent. So I'm going to go clockwise here, which this may not be the same order on everybody's, but it'll be the order that people get on the video. So, Jessica, I don't think you were here for the initial prompt, and I think I sort of maybe shortchanged it when you came on. But basically, what we're doing is before we sort of get into a discussion, just everybody's going around and sort of like giving the abstract on their opinion on how the week went.
Not sure that I can answer that, given that I only did that one panel and then hung out the extra hour. But that was
Well, I
fascinating to
mean,
me. There's just a ton of stuff. I'm learning here. I'm trying to
yeah.
figure out what you've got going on. So
Well, you were also there for the ML discussion, which was part of Netlabel Week. So I mean, the panels kind of kicked it off, and then I mean, we intentionally sort of didn't plan like a ton of stuff on weekend two because we thought people might be inspired and we wanted to leave space for, the instant inspiration. Um, but yeah, so um, that was part of it. So you participated in like I guess 2 out of 3 of the events that I know about. I think there might have been some international
Hmm.
events that I don't really. I think they did something in Slovenia that I haven't really heard much about it, but I just heard rumors. Um, so yeah,
Well, I haven't gone to look to see if there were any comments to the panels, or I don't know how many views there were. I just basically just know I showed up. Doug, I was on vacation.
that's true. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know that I have any meaningful contributions at this point of this meeting.
Fair enough. Sam,
I just checked the channel and it said that the panel got 31 views.
on
So there you
the
have it.
on the YouTube,
Yeah.
it's also on the
Um,
on the PeerTube. I don't know. Um, I'll check that real quick.
um, yeah, so I enjoyed my time attending the panels. Even though I was mostly silent, I still enjoyed listening. 4 hours went by fairly quickly. It was nice to hear from like the musicians' perspectives. It would be nice to somehow get some more like diverse range of musicians next time. I don't know how. But in terms of the music that released Netlabel Day, I've only listened to a little bit of it because I was a little overwhelmed with some other things last week. But I am really enjoying some of the releases. One of the Puck albums, the Pirate Pack album, is really good. Um, Also, some songs from the Mahorka compilation are excellent. Um, but yeah, I have a lot of other things, all the other things on the Netlabel Day website to go through. Um, so I'm looking forward to that. I tuned in to the Netlabel Day radio broadcast a few times. Um, and I was a little disappointed because it said that there were only like 3 or 4 viewers, total viewers, when I clicked on the website link, and so I don't know. Does that bother y'all at all? Like doing all the work to like have something to perform, but then only like a few people listen to it.
That I don't know how that counts. I mean, like if you have like cookie blockers and stuff, I wonder if it counts you. And then you can listen through like different players, and I wonder how it counts that as well.
Yeah,
I just don't know.
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
Go ahead.
yeah, there was also the annual tradition, I guess, of NetWaves coming out with their Netlabel's Essentials list. Um, but it took a few days for them to post it on their website. It came out on the 17th. Um, but yeah, that's cool. It's just one of the traditions. Um, but yeah, I guess I don't know. Um, I've enjoyed a lot of the music that I've heard so far, and I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of it. Um, Really curious what Omar thinks of how it went.
Yeah, we could probably talk about that next month a little bit if Omar is able to attend next month. Next month, while I'm mentioning it, we're going to talk about having some sort of like net label panel. Hopefully, Mike can come to that because he's the owner of Net Label Guide. Um, I think probably what we want is something like Klong Klong Moo, but something that like is more community oriented. But that's a discussion for the August meeting. Um, Now, for whatever reasons, when things were branded as the CC listening party, those videos got more views. I don't know why. But if you just look at the videos on the CC Community Music Awards, well, no, actually, we need a logo for CC Friends of Music. I've been looking at the logo. We don't have a logo, so I haven't changed it to the non-existent logo. The Friends of CC Music page. Um, the video right now is the 12th highest viewed video, so I would anticipate that going up as people, share that video and such. But we'll when I split those out, presumably, they will. Well, I don't know. They'll probably fight with each other for views, would be my guess. But maybe we'll point back to the full one, and maybe people will check that out too. Um, so, it's not like a huge audience, but it exists, and not a lot of views on the PeerTube. I don't really understand why. Like, what are the things that like the PeerTube and the YouTube views don't tend to line up. Some things get more views on PeerTube, and some things get more views on YouTube. I don't understand it. So, um, yeah. So, one thing that I think we should probably dive into there is the diverse, well, we'll just say the musician panels, because there's a few things we could do there. So one thing we could do is we could have, more musician panels at different times. I mean, Andrew Weathers wasn't able to come because he had an event. Nicholas Burgess couldn't come. There were a bunch of people that I asked, and they had other stuff going on. So next year, I believe it will be on a Tuesday, Netlabel Day itself. Let's double check that. Yeah, so that means, the 11th and 12th will be sort of like the opening. Oh, I should go back to sharing the tab here. So put this up at the top. Netlabel Day 2026 is Tuesday, and Netlabel week, because the Netlabel week dates will change because Netlabel Day is gonna like move within it. So that will be the 10th through the 19th. And for anyone counting the days and is a bit confused by that, that is because I am including Friday night on the 10th as being part of our week. So the two extra weekend days, or the extra weekend day. Basically, I'm counting 2 additional weekend days instead of 1. So on that. So yeah, I mean, we could do stuff the first weekend and the second weekend, so that would be like July 11th, July 18th, maybe. They're both Saturdays. Or maybe we could do like we could do like a closing panel on that would be on the Sunday. Or, I mean, the thing about doing Friday night is the Bugcast is Friday night and Rhino Show is Friday night. And granted, those are at different times because of the time zone situation. But I just think getting people to do something on Friday night will be difficult. So, yeah. So I mean, basically, we'd be like opening, and like we did it in the afternoon. We could try to do it in the morning, so it's like feels like more of an opening, and then like, you know, maybe put this in like evening or afternoon, and then like maybe like late morning or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm just sort of like thinking out loud here, but you know, the problem with one weekend is that if you've got, so like Nicholas, his anniversary is always going to be this weekend, but I think it might be on the 12th. So, it being on the 11th might make him available. I mean, there are some people that can play multiple roles. Like if we're just talking about musicians, and if we move things around like on different days, like maybe the different things could be like different nights. Again, I'm just sort of like brainstorming here, but so it ends. Netlabel Day ends on like early morning on the 15th. So like theoretically, you have like the 15th. Oh, we really need July 16th, 17th. Well, 17th gets us back onto Friday again. Yeah, and then I don't know about. I mean, I guess you could just do the 18th too, potentially. Like you could just have like the Netlabel one here, or Netlabel list, which we didn't really have this year. We could still do like a technology one, and then so this I guess we did. I don't know what I pressed, but this could be curators. But like you could have say like Mike be on the Netlabels one and on like an artist one, since he does that as well. I mean, I think a lot of the Netlabelists are musicians as well. I don't have any idea on like actual percentage, but yeah, I think having like different days and different weekends for the artists, you know, could could help get some more folks involved. And then like maybe we'd have like different moderators, different times. Like maybe have Omar at like the opening and the closing one. Um, and then maybe have like other moderators the other days. Just you know, because Omar has other things to do besides be a panel moderator. Yeah, I mean, like, I think Mike knows enough about technology. Like, maybe we could get Mike to be a moderator. And then, like, if we don't do it on the weekends, like, maybe we could get, like, Tom to do it someday. Um, you know, just sort of thinking out loud here. Do you feel like your internet has gotten more stable, Jason? Like, I mean, your Jitsi, as my Jitsi has on Chrome at least has become chaotic, has like yours perhaps become more stable? Oh, I guess that answers that because you dropped. I had to click out of the view. That was excellent timing for that question. So, did you drop before the question, Jason? I can't hear you, which I'm assuming is on your end since I wasn't having problems before. Somebody besides Jason say something. Okay. I can't hear any of you though, unfortunately. Don't know what happened there. All right, I'm just reconnected. See if I can hear people now. Jason? Yes, no, maybe. I'll have to see if I can. I have another headset. Actually, we could just try Sans headset and see if the noise cancellation will work. All right. Somebody say something so we can see what my headset going on. Yeah, it's like Opera's just being dumb, I guess, with the audio. Don't know why it would go one way and not the other. I'll just like drop in the middle of things. Let me see if I can just get on the phone. Well, I guess that I can keep talking while that I get logged in on my phone here. And if folks want to, the link that I'm typing on is over in the chat. So if folks want to like get in and like add ideas and stuff to that, that's people are welcome to do that. Oh, you know what? I think I might know what's going on here. Okay, I think maybe I was sharing because I was sharing the tab. That all the audio was going through that tab. Yeah. Somebody say something. See if that fixed it. No, that didn't fix it. So weird. Got some nice feedback there. I guess we solved that. All right. guess I could turn off the video. There's not much point, but I could try. I'm gonna have two views here. All right. It sounds like you guys can hear me, or it looks like you guys can hear me, but I'm not able to hear you still. It doesn't seem like no one's saying anything. Very strange. Could be a Jitsi problem. Oh, you know what? I can hear people moving around. I think it's just not sending stuff to the headset on the phone. Phone stuff is not as easy to mess with. Yeah, it's definitely.
You're muted in both places.
Yeah, I guess I can just do it sans headset with the phone. I just have to turn it up. I'm gonna just turn off the video on the phone because I don't know. I mean, unless people like the like avant-garde, like here's a random angle sort of thing, then we can do that. There's the bottom of my computer stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that's useful for anything. All right. Yeah, that was. I'm kind of guessing that sharing the screen, although I shared and then unshared before, so I don't know what that was bizarre. In any case, yeah, so I don't know at what point that I stopped being able to hear people. So if anybody said anything, I guess I didn't hear anybody say anything during like all of that. So if somebody did, then I didn't hear it, and
I had noted that I was an excellent moderator.
Okay. Do you want to moderate the curators panel?
Well, just keep my name in there or somewhere. I will absolutely do one. It's, a year out, a lot of stuff can change.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm happy to. I'm a good moderator. I've done it a lot, so.
Yeah, and like, which day is like the curator and the all that kind of stuff doesn't really matter that much at the moment. It's just sort of like, having a framework for maybe, I guess one of the there are some downsides, but one of the upsides of splitting them apart is that you don't necessarily have to be bound by the hour if everybody wants to continue the conversation. The downside is that audience is split up. I always sort of think about like I do pretty much everything live, but I sort of think about things as like just being recorded artifacts mostly. And I think that's when the bulk of the viewers will see things is after the fact. So yeah. But we could do I think like if you're gonna do a live event, then you really got to focus on promotion, like so people know when to show up. So if that's a direction that we thought was a good one to take, then we could do that. But I think we might want to just do like one, or maybe opening and closing. Yeah. I don't know if people have thoughts about that.
thought about doing a survey?
I have.
Do we know?
I mean,
Can
I've
we-
sent surveys. The problem is just like, you know, people don't respond to things. You know, we could try it again, but
It's
yeah.
like, don't we know who the viewers are? Can we contact? Can we send them emails?
I don't-
You know, can we send them surveys?
I don't think I have any idea who the viewers are. Yeah. No idea whatsoever. Now, if somebody leaves a comment, then I would know. You know,
Yeah.
but we don't get a lot of comments. So.
Should we invite comments? Should we like and subscribe?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that is something that I'm definitely not good at doing that sort of thing. Part of the problem is that, you know, we're still sort of like separate organizations, which makes things difficult. You know, as far as having like united marketing and such.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that we talked about some before, and I don't remember how seriously anyone discussed it, but was just doing our own thing, like completely separate from Netlabel Day. You know,
Yeah, what is the relationship between Friends of CC and Netlabel Day?
well, I mean, you know,
Is it just that we try to support Netlabel Day?
yeah, basically, that's
Okay.
that's kind of what it is. Yeah, I mean, you know, Omar was at the last meeting, you know, where we were talking about education. It's not like Omar's not involved, but you know, like I don't have access to the website. I don't know who does, other than Omar. So it just sort of like it's a little complicated. But one of the things that we could do is just like have it in January or something. You know, like so there's not a 14th month of the year, so we can't do it on like 14/7. But maybe we could figure out some way that, you know, like invert it. I mean, the obvious thing to do would just be the 6 months before, and you just have it on January 14th. Or, you know, you don't necessarily have to have an event on the 14th for the same reasons that having Netlabel Day on the 14th is complicated. But we could situate Netlabel Week, or we could call it Native Music Week. That's sort of a term that I've been trying to get people to start using. The problem is that Creative Commons, like the tag CC Music specifically, is a tag that everybody is familiar with, but the music doesn't necessarily need to be Creative Commons. There's the free art license. That's really the only one that, you know. Well, I mean, people do release stuff under like licenses designed for software. You know, there's also like documentation licenses people could do. I guess.
Should we just start #free music?
Well, the problem is the word "free" in English is ambiguous, so I don't think that's going to help anything, unfortunately. But you saying that made me type that in. Let's see if this actually won't if I change URLs. Well, so these guys have a pretty good list. Can you guys still see the Music Libre thing here? So there's a bunch listed here, but like this is kind of like, well, they do have it in English, but for anybody who doesn't speak French, that's yes. With I don't know what that says. Something of the author. I know avec is with, but yeah. So anyway, you can kind of figure it out. The point is this left-hand column over here, though. So there are all these other licenses. I mean, you can see the Creative Commons one's a different one. Like some of them are no longer in use, like Sampling Plus, and they're actually talking about Creative Commons 2.0 and not. Well, I guess they have like the old ones too. So, you know, nobody should really be using those, I don't think. But you do have, I guess, the WTFPL, something some people use. So it's not like there's not anything. This C reaction is the one that like I had never heard of until I like was looking at this one day, and I also don't know what IANG is. Like I have absolutely no idea what that is. I don't know that I mean, I guess I've probably seen it on here before, but I've literally, it's never caught my attention before. But there are all these licenses that like aren't by Creative Commons, and there's kind of no reason not to include them, you know, aside from just like a branding sort of thing. And like people are always confused about like the term Netlabel and what that all means. So I think, you know, net audio and all that kind of stuff again doesn't necessarily like solve any problems. So yeah, I mean, so there's the technology had the same problem with like cloud and what does that mean, and then people came up with the term cloud native, and that's something that like actually means something. And so that was kind of why that I went with net native music, because we already use this word net for net labels, but like, you know, really sort of like embracing the changes of like internet culture and such. But anyway, I mean, we could also just do, you know, just BCC Music and use that for branding. I mean, the name of the org is Friends of CC Music. So, you know, I don't really have super strong feelings about the name, but some people do. And if we use the term CC, then some people will be mad. So, but you know, that's unfortunately just how it is. You know, it's like, do you want people mad or do you want people to actually know what you're talking about? Those are pretty much the options. So, so I don't know what. I mean, Sam, Jason, you guys have been in the community for a while. Like, what do you think about just completely doing our own thing separate from Netlabel Day? Sam, if you're talking, I can't hear you. Maybe all those problems were like because your audio wasn't working. I don't know. Because I could hear Jessica just fine. Jason, you got your mic on?
I've got my mic
Okay.
on, and I can hear Sam and Jess.
Oh, that's weird.
I can hear Sam too.
That is so weird. So it's just Sam that's being like blocked for some reason. What the hell? It's on like both of them. That makes no sense. Alright, I'm gonna mute you, Sam, and then you can unmute yourself, and let's just see if that like kicks it. But like, if I'm not getting it, then the the stream's not getting it. That's so bizarre. Like I see his box light up, but there is no sound. I don't understand what the hell's going on with that. So unfortunately, Sam, I guess you're relegated to the chat box if you want it to be preserved on the recording. Or like, you know, Jessica or Jason could just repeat everything you say. Dude, I don't know why they can hear you and I can't. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, you could try a different browser, but I really don't know what's going on. Yeah. But anyway, Jason, you have thoughts on splitting?
I think it's worth a try next time, particularly if we're talking about, you know, trying to establish Netlabel Week and having that be a thing. I think that having different days for different panels could be an option that's worth exploring for 2026.
I guess the other thing is like if we're talking about January, are we talking about 2026 or are we talking about 2027? I mean, if this was the only thing that we were doing, I would say 6 months would be enough time. I don't think that's what anybody wants, though. So, you know, if we're gonna talk about things like, you know, bringing, you know, some sort of community site back that is maybe focused on Netlabel specifically, you know, like that's going to be a substantial chunk of, you know, work that people are going to be doing. Again, I don't want to get into that now because that's the August meeting topic. So I guess now would be a good time for me to drop that date since I didn't do that earlier. That is August 17th, and these are at 5:30 Central. And we don't have to worry about time zones for August or September or time changes or October. We might have to in October, actually. But yeah, so whatever it is now for you in July will be the same. But yeah. I mean, the thing is, too, is like it's hard to get Europeans to do stuff in the summer, so we have talked about the January stuff before, but yeah, I don't know how many would be involved. I mean, I guess we don't know until we try, I guess is really what it boils down to. Yeah, for some reason, like, I'm the only one that can't hear you, which doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know where my tab went. I can see myself, but I can't actually see the DuckDuckGo tab, which is also kind of bizarre. Well, whatever. Since we know it's just like a weird Sam thing, I don't even need to like use this one anymore. I can just go back to the to Opera. Maybe. I don't know. You guys still hear me? It's like one device audio is completely jacked up and the other one is just Sam. So weird. Alright, that was bizarre. I love how instantaneous it is when I turn the mic off. Alright. Maybe me coming back on will solve the random I can't hear Sam problem.
Has it?
Yep, that did it. This is the bizarrest thing I think I've ever seen in my life. I really have like no explanation for why I could not hear Sam. Makes no sense.
Oh, so you can hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, that was so bizarre. Yeah, so January.
So I had a question earlier when you couldn't hear me.
Yeah.
I asked why didn't the Netlabel list panel happen this year?
The Netlabels panel didn't happen because none of the Netlabelists that were asked wanted to do it or could do it. So.
Did they explain why?
Mike said Mike was supposed to do it, but he had like a last minute family sort of thing. I don't really know what was going on with that, but yeah.
Maybe more heads up time could work. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I asked people to, like reach out to Netlabel people they knew, and I don't know who asked who, but we never got any yeses. So
I mean, it is called Netlabel Week, so it'd be nice to hear from Netlabelists and
yeah.
that release under Netlabels and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do net native. So I guess the question is, if we do it in January, do we want to stick with the Netlabel focus?
I don't know.
I mean, it might be interesting to see as an experiment if we just like completely drop the Netlabel thing. I mean, a lot of Netlabels are doing CC Music. And if we went with like Net Native Music Week, that would include all the Netlabel folks. And we don't necessarily have to stick with whatever we name that we pick. I mean, maybe like 2026 versus 2027 is maybe like.
2027 sounds so far away.
Yeah, but it's just a year and a half, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of inclined to just say 2027. That would be the way I would lean. I don't know
All right.
what, thoughts. Now I can't hear Jason. It's like whoever's in that right corner. That's so bizarre. That's where you were before, Sam. That's so bizarre. Oh my god.
Did you hear Jason?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's so random. What the hell?
Okay.
That is so weird. So weird. Yeah, I don't know. I guess everybody just put in the chat whether they want to do 2026 or 2027. since I can't hear Jason for some reason. Just he's being stupid. I mean, no one knows. It's just like a vibe check. Jason, I can't hear you there. Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess maybe that's what we should do too. Is like we should have the vote. So if we want to do it in January, it looks like 2027. But do we want to do January or do we? I personally think it's worth a shot. I'm gonna see if we can get the Europeans to join us. But yeah, I guess January or July are the two voting options on this round. I should say, like, this doesn't mean that like we can't be involved with Netlabel Day. It just means Netlabel Day will be Netlabel Day, and not Netlabel Week.
Say that 5 times fast.
All right, need to see some votes in the chat, guys. January or July. You can do 1 or 7 if your hands hurt. All right. So Jason or Jessica, looks like either you guys are gonna make this a hung jury, or all right. So looks like January has it. All right. So this starts. Obviously, these dates are, not correct. Well, I mean, I guess that's not true. They could by happenstance be correct. So we'd be looking at the 8th. So I'm not really sure where I put this, but well, I guess so. That would mean that it'd be the 9th. January 9. Although, okay, so I'm gonna actually change my vote on the year, and I will tell you why. And we'll see if this sways anyone else. Next year, as in 6 months from now, is actually the 25th anniversary of the CC licenses. So I think actually doing it in January in 2026 actually makes a lot of sense. So either Jessica or Sam, do either one of you want to vote now on whether it's?
Would you think that promoting that based around the anniversary would increase the interest of people?
Yeah, I think it would.
Then go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, I'm glad that I thought about that today instead of like, in a week. Oh yeah, that thing is happening. All right. We are a little bit over our hour.
What a lovely hour it's been.
Full of like, I've been working in technology, like off, mostly broken technology off and on since 2022. And I honestly don't know that I've seen anything weirder than that. I've seen things that are more catastrophic and horrible than that, but the fact that I can't hear Jason and I can hear everybody else, and Jason is now the third tile on the top and is purple, whereas you were previously the third tile on top and were purple. Like, this is the weirdest bug I have ever seen. Oh, I actually have a on YouTube. People can go to my personal YouTube and go look for it if they want. I'm not gonna spend time looking for it now. But I saw a really weird Linux kernel video bug where it like turned the monitor into like the dream sequence from like Wayne's World. I had video of it. It's like one of my most popular YouTube videos because I just like got this was like years ago, but I got my like camera out and shot it, and I was like, what the hell is even like happening here? But yeah, so that my YouTube is Douglas AWH if people want to go check that out. All right, so September. I guess, do we think it's like a topic that we should be talking about at the monthly meeting, or do we think like it should be its own separate thing? I'm kind of inclined personally to have it at least once as a monthly meeting topic, and I guess September would be a decent time for that to happen. Does anybody think that that's not a good idea?
I think the biggest factor is if people are actually going to show up on the day that they should show up.
Yeah, well, let's call this the CC 25th anniversary stuff. Because even if it doesn't turn into like something that, we do annually, we can at least talk about it this year. So is there anybody that should be on here that isn't on the invite list? I don't see a lot of point in inviting a ton of folks in Europe just because of time zones. But if there is somebody that we would really want to at least know that this is happening, I am happy to add them.
I don't know.
Like, all right, January 26th is the 25th anniversary. We should do something. Alright. All right, so I just updated the September. We can probably talk about this a little bit in August, but yeah, try to keep that on the talking about the Netlabel portal stuff. All right, does anybody feel like they have anything burning? And if you have like a closing response, Jason, then I can read it out. I can like read it out like Shakespearean if you really like if you really want it, or maybe like I should like stand up on a table like I don't remember what movie that is. Is that Good Will Hunting? Yeah, I don't know. I'm offering my
Dead Poet Society?
what was that?
Was that Dead Poet Society?
Yes, that's what it was. I mean, same amount of words.
Yes.
All right. Well, I will make sure that this gets out on the interwebs for folks to see. Make sure Omar knows what we're doing, and then we can kind of plan around the actual day a little bit better, and then we'll have to maybe the January one we'll do the debrief of the anniversary stuff and see if it's the sort of thing that we want to do going forward. But I think we made some progress here, so I guess this is where I'm supposed to say like and subscribe. I do have playlists so that like this sort of, at least on YouTube, this sort of like administrative stuff stays away from the more interesting, at least theoretically, stuff. But yeah, smash that like button.
Don't forget to leave a comment.
Yes, please leave a comment. Actually, comments definitely like even better than the likes, because then we can like actually like see who you are, and then potentially get you involved. So yeah, sweet. Well, thanks everyone. I am